Welcome to the Art of Leverage. My name is Tiffanie Kellog, and I am very excited to have today joining me Luis from right here in my own neck of the woods. Welcome, greetings.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So glad to have you. Now, I've heard of Murphy Business Sales before, but our audience may not have. So tell us a little bit about your business.
Absolutely. The interesting part of our business is not a lot of people know that our industry exists and that there's even an industry. So the easiest way that I like to let people know what we do is do a comparison. The comparison that I say is most people know what a realtor is. A realtor helps people buy and sell their homes. We help people buy and sell businesses. So we transact on businesses. So we have sellers that are wanting to sell their business, wanting to get out of their business for one reason or another. And then we have buyers that want to buy the business and get into business for themselves. That's the easy layman's term.
So what got you interested in becoming a part of this?
So my background is for many years, since I was young, in the finance world, running large corporations, being a CFO, controller in my earlier years, and helping businesses grow, helping businesses be successful. And that's always been a passion of mine. I look at accounting and that part of building a business and growing it as a puzzle. And I like putting the pieces together and it becomes successful. That's always been my passion. I love to help people. And so being a CFO, I was actually a CFO for Murphy Business Financial Corporation, which is a franchisor of business brokers nationwide and in Canada. I decided to, after helping all the brokers for so many years on their deals, I purchased my own franchise and became my own boss. And today I love what I do, which is building dreams. I have buyers that are, let's call them the baby boomers. They built their business, they've worked hard, they thought their children were going to take it over. And all of a sudden, their children don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So now they need to sell. And so it's the dream, helping them with their dream for retirement. And then now I have the buyers that have worked for someone and want to do something for themselves, and they buy a business. And I help them with that dream to start their own businesses. So I help build dreams.
Gotcha. So you're helping create that connection of the people that had it, created it, and want to get into it. Now, why do you think that people would consider buying a business versus just starting it from scratch?
It's much easier when you buy a business that's already established. Yes, you have to buy it. Right? There's financing there, but there is financing involved. I've partnered up with several SBA banks that are preferred lenders that will, depending on the deal, I will choose which one to partner with. So a person doesn't need a ton of money to invest into it. They need at least 10% down. The SBA will finance the rest of it for 10 years. And they can start their dream.
I don't think people realize sometimes how much work is involved in starting a business from scratch.
There's a ton.
Yeah.
And you cannot be everything, and you're not an expert in everything, and there's still a large investment.
Yes, depending on what you're doing and how you're doing it. But there's so many things that are already taken care of with a business. And it's not like we're buying a failing business. I mean, you can. But most people are buying, a business that's already creating success and has those systems in place.
Right. Correct.
So when did you purchase your franchise?
Wow. I purchased my franchise in December of 2021.
Gotcha. So the world was starting to come back, at least in Florida, the world was starting to come back to normal.
Right.
What made you decide to finally take that step?
Well, it's been something, years ago, I used to own my own business with my brothers. And went back to work for corporate America again after that, and wanted to have my own business again. So decision was, do I want to start my own business? Do I want to buy a business, being that I'm in that world? And then which one? You know, the hard part is when people are looking to buy a business, most times they don't know what they want to buy. I want to buy something, but what? It has to be, and you know, some people look at how much net profit is it making? That's the driving force. It's not, because you can buy something and be miserable in it. So so I made a decision. I like what I did. I like I liked helping people. I like finance. I like the deals, helping. And so I decided to purchase a franchise from the company that I worked at, selling franchises.
Gotcha. So what all does your role encompass now in your world? I call you up because I need your help, and what are you going to do to help me?
So in my role, something that helps me stand out from others. I'm your consultant, right? It first starts off with, are you looking to sell your business? Obviously, you know, we all want to get listings. You can't sell what you don't have. So that's number one. And in my role with that, a lot of these smaller business owners, they rely on their accountants. And the biggest mistake that happens is people don't want to pay a lot of taxes. So what do? They start putting things through their business that they shouldn't. What they end up doing is devaluing their business. So I go in as a consultant to start with. We analyze their P&Ls, and most people don't even know what is a P&L, a profit and loss statement. Oh, what's that? So I go through the process of literally analyzing that profit and loss statement, making sure it's set up properly, look at what the expenses are running through the business, and help them guide their P&Ls to be a sellable business, and we can maximize their profits on the sale.
Yeah, and how long typically do you find? Because I know if when you're ready to sell the business, it's not time to sell the business. Usually there's a lead time that you need to get ready to make sure things are in place. So where in the process are people wanting to chat with you, at least at the earliest opportunity?
You know, at the earliest, you should start thinking about it literally like 5 years before. A good place, maybe 2. Most people will contact me when I'm ready to do it now. So when I'm ready to do it now you have to work with what you do have. And in the middle of a year, it's okay still, because we still can work on that year. Make sure that, hey, you know, all this stuff that's going through there, that stuff has to stop. SBA lending will only look at tax returns. So it's important what is on your tax return. So it can still help them, but it's best 1 to 2 years prior to. And people want to say, I don't want to sell my business because I'm just doing so well. That's the best time to sell your business, on the upscale, not the downside. The downside, now it's a fire sale.
Gotcha. Yeah. And that's probably not what, if we've spent years of our time, energy, and effort pouring into this business, we probably want to get that top dollar for it.
Right. You want to pass a legacy on.
So what are your favorite kind of clients to work with? Those ideal clients, the ones that you just love?
An ideal client for me is someone who's really motivated, not desperate, motivated. Someone who wants to pass their legacy on. So you're baby boomers. So a baby boomer is, I started my business from scratch. I worked all these years and I wanted to leave it to my children. My children don't want a part of this. What do I do with it? Well, that's who I want. A perfect example, I have one that is actually about to close in July, the end of July. And it's a gentleman who, second retirement, the first time he retired from civil engineer.
Oh, wow.
Went into a business. I won't say what type of business, but he went into the business. He and his wife went into it with the anticipation that their son was going to continue it and they were going to go and retire. Well, they want to retire. And their son, who actually works in the business, doesn't want to do this. So hence, the business went up for sale. Now I do have a buyer who is looking to start his own business, be in business for himself. New baby on the way, and all things are happening. And so he is actually purchasing it. So I have a seller whose dream is to retire and live life on the water. And I have a buyer who's starting their process of their future. And so it's
two very different dreams that you're helping your clients fulfill.
Correct. But it is dreams.
Okay. So speaking of dreams, what is your vision for life over the next 5 or 10 years? What are you dreaming towards?
Well, being that I started the business I purchased it in December of 2021. My vision is to grow a full firm. What does
that look like?
What does that look like? Have multiple brokers within my office or agents, if you think of realtors, have office staff, administrative assistants, a larger firm.
Gotcha. What is
the reason is obviously, at some point when I want to retire, I would love to have something to be able to sell.
Gotcha.
And pass it on to someone else.
Gotcha. And what areas do you offer your services in?
Which areas? I don't have an actual niche per se. So I do help many people in many industries. Because I was in the franchise world, I tend to, find a lot of franchisors or franchisees that are looking to either sell or acquire. But there's no specific area. The area that I like most is helping people.
Gotcha. So I know we've talked a lot about what's going on in business. At Asentiv, it is about the amazing business and the spectacular life. So I always want to know, when we're not working, what do we like to do for fun?
Well, I'm originally from New Jersey.
Okay.
I moved to Florida to be on the water. So I love to be by the water, whether it is on the beach, on a boat, in my pool.
Sometimes the pool, it's like, yes, the beach is right here and there's the lake, but I'm like, the pool is just like 4 steps.
Correct.
Out the back door.
True. But I like I like the Caribbean type of feel. And so that's what I enjoy most. Spending time with friends and family out doing that.
Love it. So a couple of questions as we begin to wrap up today. If somebody is watching this and thinking, okay, I do think I'm going to want to sell eventually. Maybe it's time for me to start this conversation. How can people reach out and get in touch with you, Lewis?
Absolutely. I am available by phone. I'm available by email, text. So my business number is 813-725-9227. My website is buyabusinesstampa.com.
Makes it easy.
And my email address, probably a little bit more difficult, is going to be l.zavala. That's Z as in zebra, A, V as in Victor, ALA at murphybusiness.com.
And we'll include those down in the YouTube description where this is at. So if y'all want to go click, nice and easy, you can do that to reach out to Lewis and see how he can help you set you up for selling the business or perhaps buying your next business.
I want to say that the consultation is free. And if anyone contacts me from here and listens to it, I will offer them a $500 discount towards a valuation.
So be sure you mention that you saw this on The Art of Leverage with Tiffanie and Asentiv so that you can save that discount on your evaluation. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So any last tips that you want to leave the audience with on how to leverage themselves, their business to create the most of their life?
For sellers, look to prepare a perfect P&L, a perfect profit and loss statement. That'll tell the story of your business. For buyers, think about what makes you happy, what you enjoy doing. And then we can find the type of business that fits that criteria. It's not always about the money.
And I think that you don't necessarily have to be an expert in something to buy a business if it's already running and successful, because many of those components are already in place.
Correct. And a lot of businesses do have a management team in place. Some of them, if it's a smaller business, you pull the seller out and put the buyer in and keep running it that way. They'll have their teams.
So do you have a business or two that you can mention that are currently available for purchase, just to give us a flavor of what you've got? If you're allowed to. I know there's like rules sometimes on different NDAs and things of that nature.
There is, but I mean, I can share stuff because they are listed. I have a fun business.
Ooh.
And I'll even mention a location. So fun business it's a resale boutique store. So coastal living, the chalk paint furniture, beach decorations.
Yeah.
So I have that listed for sale in Apollo Beach.
That makes sense.
I have another one in a huge industry, a lot of competition, but national competition. Business has been around for about 30 years.
Oh, wow.
So my baby boomer is wanting to retire.
Yep.
And so that what they do, they are a textile rental business. Okay. That one, it's in Florida, but I can't disclose where.
Gotcha.
Now that one's a little bit more confidential. I have another interesting one. It's a sink replacement business. So
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Think about this. So you have your porcelain sink. It's cracked. What do? Well, you can either fix it. So they can either fix it, or even if you have your granite tops, there's a special way that they do it. They will cut the granite top off, pull that old sink out and pop in a new one, kind of like a farm sinks.
Gotcha. So they kind of use a slightly bigger sink than you have to use what you've already got there.
Or they'll pull out the bottom, they'll pull out it's a beautiful work that they do.
Yeah.
So that's a nice business. That's for sale. That is a business that can be franchised actually,
Gotcha.
because they have a set process. It's classified under the plumbing industry, but it's really not you don't have to be, well, it's not plumbing. They will put a new sink, they'll put in the new plumbing in it, replace the plumbing.
Yeah.
But they don't go run all the plumbing in your house. So
Makes sense.
What else? I have a few other ones. Dog groomer, I have uninterruptible power supply, appliance repair business.
So it sounds like just give you a call. There may be all kinds of different options.
I may
connect.
have a food manufacturer soon. So yes.
Well, be sure to check out his information below, reach out, get in touch, whether you're thinking about buying or selling. And Louis, I want to say thank you so very much for being here with us today. And we look forward to having y'all join us for our next interview. Happy networking, y'all.
Thank you so much.